On this week's show, exclusive albums all around, iPad for the holidays, and Groot, the musical? Yeah, it's a real thing. All this and more on episode 66 of the Inside Infinity podcast.
What's up, guys? This is John Vignacchi, executive producer on Disney Infinity, and you are listening to Inside Infinity, the first official Disney Infinity podcast on the net.
Inside Infinity is brought to you with support from Evilos Customs. Evilos.com is your number one place for custom Disney Infinity figures. Head over to Evilos.com to find his latest creation. He has this red Hulk here, which is awesome. More info coming in the coming weeks. We'll be sure to let you know about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 65 of the Inside Infinity podcast, the podcast where we butcher the intros. Sorry about that, Evil Loss. I don't know.
I was going to jump in with like a Red Hulk smash.
You should have. I saw you laughing over there, and every time I see that happening, it always makes me nervous.
I didn't want to make it worse for you in the intro, so off there, but I was close. I almost did it.
It was close. It was close. Well, welcome everyone to Inside Infinity. I have with me this week, joining us again, Lloyd Hansen, coming at us from VG Podcast and DITV. Lloyd, what is up?
Hello, listeners. Good day, people.
No. It goes.
I was trying to do a French accent for all day. I was working on it, and it was like, because I'm Canadian, so I was going to do "Hey, poutine." But I couldn't find anything that would fit in with the podcast, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you are my favorite Canadian, and that's enough. You could just say a boot, and people don't know if you're talking about a boot or a boat.
Talking a boot. that was in one of my unboxings. What was it? It was my Donald unboxing, actually. Because he throws a boot at one point, and I was like, he's throwing a boot. I was like, but I'm not saying a boot. I'm saying he's actually throwing a boot. And
that part cracked me up.
Terrible joke, and no one commented on Facebook or on YouTube about it. I expected someone to say that was terrible, and I didn't get that, so I dodged that bullet.
It's because everyone loves you. I was rolling my eyes inside, but you couldn't see it.
I could feel it, and it hurts. It hurt deep.
Well, good.
Deep in my heart.
I'm glad you could feel it all the way in the Great North. We have a great show ahead of everyone. Welcome everyone in the chat room. If you want to chat with us and watch us live each Monday evening, you can do that. Just head over to DITV. Let's start over. DisneyInfinity.tv/live or DITV.co/live. That's our URL shortener. We got lots of people in there. We have What's Up, TJ? Always love seeing you in there. We have Lord Jashiro, Zelda Forever, Janilom, German Bold Italic. I love that one. Jason's in there. We're going to talk about Jason in a moment. Don't let me forget Lloyd. Romulus, how's it going? Evilos, Justin, BWEQ. We have just so many people. Love seeing each and every one of you each week. So thanks for stopping by. This show and all of our Inside Infinity podcasts are brought to you with partnership from the Inside Infinity fans. Man, Lloyd, is this the first time I've ever done a podcast? The Disney Infinity Fans Forum, DisneyInfinityFans.com, your number one forum for all things Disney Infinity. They have a great group over there. They have news, rumors, community, just a great, fun group over there. So make sure you head on over to DisneyInfinityFans.com. I don't know what. Maybe I should just hang it up now, Lloyd.
Do you want to just go for like an extended coffee break, and I'll just continue on with the show?
Please. I'm wearing my Infinity shirt today. I thought that was going to give me like Infinity props, but apparently it's not helping too much.
I have a shirt right here that I can't show you, Will.
Oh, that's right. You got your loot crate.
Open my loot crate. I was so excited to show you because I didn't think you were getting this month, and it turns out that you were. So I'm gonna have to hold off, but I'm staring at it right now, and it's glorious. I gotta say,
you're just mocking me. That's okay.
I would never do that, Will.
Not you.
Canadians, we're too polite.
You're too nice.
Bart.
So, Jason, for everyone in the chat who's asking, just kidding, Jason. Lower that big head of yours. No one's asking, but Jason is not here tonight, but it's his birthday, so we want to wish him a very happy birthday. I had a song all planned out for you, Jason, but I figured that it might want to be something that's a little more private and intimate just between you and I, so I'm going to not sing it over the internet.
Yikes. I don't want to get in between you two. I was gonna sing. Remember, I told the story about the Opera Man guy in town that does it.
Yeah.
I was gonna do a rendition of my Opera Man version of Happy Birthday for Jason.
But
I don't.
But you're
I don't know
not.
if no, because the camera's on. The camera has to be off me.
Okay. So an intimate song for you as well. Jason TJ from Pixar Post is saying that Julie wants to wish Jason a very special happy birthday. So there you go, Jason. That's just for you. And he's commenting, thanks for not singing to him.
Well, happy birthday. Well, happy birthday. Well, happy birthday all for you. We're so glad you spent your birthday watching this podcast in the chat room and playing Infinity.
Hey, chat room worked. That rhymed.
That kind of.
That was amazing. Wow. You're a resident singer. Speaking of singing, Lloyd, did you happen to catch this week's Groot the musical?
I did. It was a hit on all the networks. In fact, every single network on television and online basically showed it. It was that thing. Everybody loved it.
Absolutely. Everyone loved it. So this is a new thing we're starting, and by all the channels ever, I think Lloyd was referring to our channel. So we are starting, DITV is starting the Infinitunes. We started off with the Groot the musical, which is just fantastic. I'm going to play it here for you. We have a serialized kind of TV show starting this week as well. So stay tuned. Episode 1 of that is ready to go. But this is Groot the musical, which is just amazing. And if you love Lloyd singing unfortunately can't hold a candle to Jason singing. So Jason, oh no, hold on, Lloyd, hold on, people can't hear your beautiful voice right now. So now people can hear you. So what looks like just Groot on screen is actually Groot the musical, and this is a stage show performed in Disney Infinity. And it's amazing. So make sure you head on over to our YouTube channel if you have not seen this. This is actually Groot dancing. It may not look like it, but that's Groot dancing. And here, actually, I'm just gonna see if I can bring up the audio a little bit so you can hear Groot singing.
Fan Forum says that Groot improves on these timeless classics. I am Groot. 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 Groot. I am Groot, Groot, Groot. I am Groot, I am Groot, I am Groot.
So that was perfect for the, since we're celebrating the anniversary of The Little Mermaid. That could not have been timed any better. So It's a riot. My wife does not like much of Infinity because Infinity is the thing that takes her husband away from her. But this, I had to show her, and she absolutely loved. We were just sitting there on the couch cracking up watching this. Watching this. Lord Jashiro is saying, my ears, they are bleeding. And I assume that they're bleeding because it's such amazing singing.
Or was it he's catching up. He's on a delay when I saw Happy Birthday to Jason. Maybe that's what it's from.
Or that. Pick or choose. We're nothing but tout here. Sometimes we sing on our live streams. Sometimes we sing on our podcast. Other times we just make up fun videos. So make sure you head on over to youtube.com/Disney Infinity TV for our Infinitunes that launched this week. And we're going to be having some more. So hope you enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. All right, Lloyd, let's say, why don't we get to the community section? We got a few pieces of reader mail today. First is my note that says happy birthday, Jason. We can get rid of that because we already did that. So Herbert wrote in, hi, love the game. Here's my question. I like that. Straight to the point. When placing a toy box door to reveal a different level, I think that's what it's... Travel. Travel, thank you. To a different level, how would I lock it until certain conditions are met in the first level? Like until a number of enemies have been defeated? Great question, Herbert. Lloyd, do you know the answer to this? I kind of thought I knew, and I assumed it was possible, but I've never actually done it. So I reached out to our good friend Pirate Steven to ask how he could do this. And basically, it's just a logic connection that you have to connect to a win condition of something. So defeat 3 enemies, it unlocks a door or whatever, and then you connect that win condition to the logic of the door itself, and then that will unlock it for you. So this was actually used in Vasuri 83's Haunted Mansion toy box. Lloyd, I don't know if you played that, but it was incredible, and the doors would unlock.
Vignacchi or whatever.
No, that was the Daddy twins.
Ah, right.
Yeah, no, this one was was like a huge bayou, and you had to find your way in the dark to this kind of haunted mansion, and it's kind of cool. It actually told a little bit of the history of the haunted mansion.
Sure, I think I remember that one.
So yeah, so that's how you do that, Herbert. Sorry, it's a little vague. Didn't have a chance to test this before the show, but we appreciate you writing in and asking us anyway. So senior OG Jared wrote in with a question. Don't worry, Jared, your figure is in the mail. Your Evilos Randall is in the mail. I know you wrote in about that, but you also wrote in with a question. I would also like to pose a question for a future episode. What feature currently in the game would you like to see expanded in 3.0 and beyond? His example is, I would love to see costume discs that work on multiple characters. It would be even more awesome if costume discs could make characters compatible with new playsets. Imagine a Yoda costume that would make Stitch and a few others compatible with the Star Wars playset, for example.
That's a neat idea.
That is a neat idea.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I love all that is in 2.0. I just wish there was more. Like I play a lot of Minecraft with the kids, and I wish that building levels would be more like that. Like if you could go into a world where you can kind of just carve out the place that you're building. So instead of having to place every single bit of terrain, if you would get like a world that would have hills and valleys and water, and you can kind of add and remove to something like that, that would be great, especially for my kids and me. But for my kids, when they build a level, their levels are pretty much all flat, and it would be nice if there would be some sort of terrain that was a little bit more than just placing blocks. If it would be more I don't know, generated by some algorithm in the background that would generate a world of hills and valleys that you would then go and place toys and things in. That would be amazing. Unlikely, because Disney's really looking for a game that is basically like Lego. You're taking things and snapping them together. But it'd be nice if maybe the train was fleshed out a little bit more in 3.0.
Yeah, totally. That reminds me of a small change I'd like to see, which basically is an improvement on the current, and I it may be possible now, I just haven't figured out a way to do it. So the builders that create trees, I forget what it's called, but vegetation or whatever, it would be nice if you could lock down what type of vegetation, because if I'm building like a Plains Fire and Rescue toy box, that those spruces and those pine trees are really going to be the things that you're wanting, and then it gives you those fantasy.
You don't like big mushrooms and big purple fuzzy trees in the middle of your forest?
No. I don't. But so I mean, I love the accessibility that these builders and the other, I forget what's called, but when you can like select an area, it's great. Just an improvement, and I think that is not something that would be out of the realm of possibilities. I liked his idea too, Lloyd. Your ears kind of perked up as well. The only thing that worries about me is that this is essentially creating a paywall for content.
Yeah, and it's kind of goes against what Disney really wants to do with this game, where each world is kind of for the characters that would live in that world. Like I'd love to. Basically, the one thing I wanted of 3.0 is like 3 times the amount of playsets, and that would be amazing. If I could buy 6 to 9 play sets throughout the whole generation of 2.0, I would have been set. I would have been like perfectly happy with that. So I hope they do that with 3.0, because play sets to me is really where it's at. That's where I spend the bulk of my time, and I do build levels, but I'd love to have more play sets to play in, and a lot more varied things. Like even if there's only 2 figures, like if there was, say, a Frozen play set that only had Anna and Elsa from the first game, if that came out in 1.0, I would have been perfectly happy with that. A play set doesn't need to have 5 to 8 different characters that can play in it. That's my one want for 3.0, but we'll see what happens as we work towards that, I guess.
Here's hoping. I agree with you. It's funny. I remember us talking about 6 play sets in the first one, and we're like, that can't be it. And now you think about it, it seems like that's a lot just because we have 3.
Totally. I was like, oh, I need some more. Like this 6, I kind of over it really quick. And I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna do 6 Marvel, and they're gonna do 6 Disney. They're gonna really blow this out of the water. And then 3 and no Disney ones. It's like, oh, ooh, okay. So I have to use my imagination.
Yep. You'll have to use your toy box and build your levels.
The infinite possibilities that are the toy box.
It'll be really interesting. We've talked about the stats of the toy box play versus playset play, and I mean, I think we both kind of agree that that's an unfair stat because you have a linear experience that has a ending, it has a finish, versus this open-ended play. But I know you, Lloyd, so you play you and your family, not just you, but you and your family play the play sets, and then you kind of hand over the game a lot for the toy box for the kids, right?
Or they'll say, hey Dad, build me blah, and I'll go in and I'll throw something together, throw some rudimentary logic together to make something fun, and then they take it, and then I go away and I come back in an hour and it looks nothing like what I built. So they've taken what I've done and they've built off it and whatever, and that's a lot of fun. But I want to have worlds to play in. Like I'm a big story driven gameplay guy, and I would love more story based levels that are as big as what the game shipped with. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I more would be better.
Absolutely. I think as fans, we recognize that you can't have everything, but we always want more, right?
Well, and the stat about how much time was spent in the toy box in 1.0, I wonder how much of that time was then sliced away for people that were just sitting, rotating on fans. Overnight, right? Trying to get all the characters to level 10 or whatever level they wanted to stop at. I wonder how much of that play set time or that toy box time was really just people spinning on fans overnight and leveling up their characters.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't even want to think about because it's not quite as quick in 2.0, and I don't even want to think about how much time I've spent with my figures and a leveling generator, maybe a levelator Mark II.
I wonder who made that.
A very smart person. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for the community section. Thank you both, Jared and Herbert, for writing in. If you'd like to write into us, please do so. Just drop us a line, info@disneyinfinity.tv. And if it's an immediate thing, we will answer right then and there if you're like stuck and you're needing help with something. Otherwise, we tend to save it for the show. You can ask us questions, give us feedback. If it's feedback, we probably won't mention it on air unless it's really funny. But yeah, just write in. We'd love to hear from you. Lloyd, you're grinning over there. I don't know. I haven't spoken much today. Normally that's when I get all tongue-tied. Maybe that's the reason, because I sat in a dark office all day.
That could be. No, I wasn't laughing at you repeatedly screwing up your lines. I was laughing at the thought of some of the feedback that we've received that you probably don't want to say on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was laughing right there.
Oh, I loved it. I got a tweet last week from I can't think of his name. He wrote in last week and called Steve the Australian Steve, and then he tweeted out and he's like, my debut on the Inside Infinity podcast, and I screwed up Jason's name, but it's okay. We just
Australian Steve sounds great though. I mean that's perfect. We should get Jason a shirt that says Australian Steve.
I love it. I mean,
Steve, Pirate Steve, and Aussie Steve. The 3 Steves should be fixed all one day.
The 3 Steves. Yeah, well, we have 3 Steves now, so that's just gonna.
There's a Steve that's never been on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Too funny. All right, well, with that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about some news section. The show might, depending on how the conversation goes, it might be a little shorter than normal, but that's okay. Let's just go ahead and get things started. So, Lloyd, Black Friday's coming up. You don't have Black Friday up there, do you?
We kind of do, surprisingly enough. I mean, we don't celebrate Thanksgiving at the same time as you. Ours is last month, but we do have Black Friday. So I was combining the two words. That was terrible. Black Friday. Will stop screwing up my speaking.
Sorry. I'm sending it through.
We do have some Black Friday sales up here, and we also have the Cyber Monday stuff. We can take advantage of some of that stuff. So
then you have Boxing Day.
Yeah, we have Boxing Day, which you guys don't get, but I think in Australia they do have Boxing Day. So U.S. is left with just one.
I'm always so jealous. How sad is that? I'm jealous of the day after Christmas for you, because I just want to go and spend more money.
Looks like my camera's frozen.
Oh, it is.
It's really weird. It's
on your end.
Yeah, I'll try to fix it.
Okay. I was sitting there scrolling and not paying attention. So you're still there with us on audio. So with that, so lots of Black Friday Disney Infinity sales going on. Not going to go over them, but the best I've seen so far are at Toys R Us, Target, I think, and then even GameStop had a decent one that theirs came out today. But what we are actually talking about is GameStop is having an exclusive Power Disc album. So I'm going to go ahead and try to bring that up here on screen. I'm going to show that off there. So this is the first we've seen of it. It is $25 for a GameStop exclusive Disney Infinity Marvel superhero Power Disc album for $24. So that's kind of cool. I'm a little bit weary of these until we kind of see what the inside looks like. I assume since it's Marvel branded, it's going to be all of the Marvel Power Disc. But yeah, so you can also see this is coming from our blog, and they're having a sale on the starter pack, $65. It's much cheaper in other places. So if you're looking to buy a starter pack, do not go to GameStop. Then the figures are $13, so a couple dollars off there. They're normally $15 at whoa. Let's sorry folks, I'm gonna lose my green screen, so you're gonna see what it's like. Oh, Lloyd's calling back. So this is what my area looks like without the green screen. Lloyd, are you there? Okay. We lost you. Oh no.
So
That's
I don't know
bummer.
what happened on my end. So
well, everyone gets to see your sweet VG podcast logo then. All right. Well, you just let me know if you need any other time. I can switch the camera or whatever.
Sure.
That's a bummer though. So yeah. So Lloyd, what do you think of this GameStop exclusive? Does it excite you at all?
Yeah, not really. I already have a Power Disc album, the binder, which works for me. I don't really think it's good. The thing that kind of troubles me is it says it'll hold 40 discs plus the 2 pyramid discs. We already know that there's going to be more than 40 discs. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan, unfortunately.
Yeah, some people love just collecting anything Infinity, any kind of exclusive, especially. So I guess for those people, it's kind of a cool thing, and for those that haven't gotten the any album yet, it's a cool thing too. But it's interesting though, because they are not the only ones having an exclusive album. It turns out Target is also having one. So same price and a similar deal. So here's the Target one. It shows all of them. So this one, yeah, so it looks like this is not necessarily a Black Friday deal, because it's the ad is starting on November 23rd. So this one's going to, hey, your camera's back, Lloyd.
Yep.
It's going to hold all of the Disney original 2.0 Power Disc, and that include 5 bonus discs. And I think this one also houses the those special pyramid disc as well. Same price, $25. And it's a Disney version instead. Oh no, it comes with 5 discs. That's what it is. It comes with 5 bonus discs. And I can't. It looks like it has a Lion King. It's gonna get all pixelated, so it has both the Lion King. Can't tell that maybe that's a
Yeah, it's got the one of the guns, I believe, from Wreck-It Ralph.
That's what it looks like.
And then it has, I believe, Aladdin and the monkeys. So
Yep.
the King Louis monkey business thing, whatever it's called. So the thing that I really want this one because it's Disney original. I have the binder that comes with the binder sheets for Marvel. So for me, it's just like, well, which one am I going to do? Like I have one binder and one book. Like to me, I would have loved if this would have been a binder, not like a fold-out album like 1.0, or I would have much preferred that we knew that this was coming out in the first place, because then I wouldn't want the binder and wasted my money on that, and to have to get the other discs. So I don't know, like if the Marvel Superheroes ones contains any of the 5 discs that I'm missing, I will immediately go and buy it. So to get rid of the 5 that I'm missing, and then I'll get rid of my binder and I'll give it to someone else, I guess, and then buy these ones. And they're really expensive as well, $25. So I don't know.
Yeah, I can't, off the top of my head, I can't think of how much the standard, not binders, but folders are. I want to say they're like $20, if not more. Help us out in the chat room if you know how much the standard ones are. But I'm thinking that.
I think they were $14.99.
Oh, okay. So you're well. Okay. So if you do that math, you get 5 discs. So if you were lucky and got both of those discs in a $5 pack, so I guess you're coming out ahead one power disc because you're getting 5, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like to me, the value is okay. I just wish they wouldn't have come up with the binder first and then not ship a binder and ship 2 of the more foldery kind of ones like we had in 1.0. I don't know. If like I said, if there's any discs there that I need, I will without any sort of hesitation go and buy it.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired of looking for the discs that I don't have, and I don't want to have to jump on eBay to buy all the other ones that I'm missing, because finding traders locally doesn't seem to be happening.
That alone makes it worth it, right? The price of admission.
Totally.
Cool. Well, I don't know. Exclusives, yay. I'll probably pick up the Disney one because I don't have one to hold those power discs yet, and might as well get some disc out of the deal. I have yet. Go ahead.
I was going to say, sorry to cut you off. You've been looking for the binder since it came out and haven't been able to find it.
Yeah, I've gone to Toys R Us weekly. In their defense, I've only gone to one Toys R Us because that's the closest one to me, and there's no other one that's really that close. But yeah, I can't seem to find it, and I should just order it. But I was also kind of holding out, seeing if a magical binder did come out. Not one of these, but like the Target binder of last year, which is probably a pipe dream, but yeah. So yeah, so those are 2 deals coming out. Again, check your local listings for Black Friday ads, or you can head over to our friends at Infinity Inquirer, who has just been going crazy, running down all of the Black Friday ads. It seems like I see something new every single day. And speaking of Infinity Inquirer, they are bringing us this next news item here. So this is this cracked me up, Lloyd, and I even thought about not including it on tonight's show. So if you are a Disney card member, so a Disney credit card holder, you can get a digital version on iOS or PC, Donald Duck. You got to be of a certain age to have a credit card. And you know what, like, we're adults. Everyone that's on the show is more or less an adult. And we play Disney Infinity. So, I mean, it's not completely lost, but at the same time, this is touching such a small group of people. I just find it an interesting promotion. I'm curious. What's your thoughts, Lloyd?
Yeah, I guess so. If you don't already have a credit card and you're maybe just turning 18 and you want to get your first credit card, I mean, this would be kind of a nice little addition to it. But I think mainly what it's going to be is families who are part of the Disney Book Club, and the Disney Blu-ray Club, and the Disney Game Club. They have a Disney credit card, and they'll just get this email randomly, and it's just another thing that's Disney they'll just give to their kids and they'll download the iOS game and there you go. It just seems like a really weird thing to have. Like you have their credit card. I would think they maybe give you like a play set or something, just something of real value, because I mean, not that the figure for $13 or $14 isn't valuable, but the web code itself, like I don't ever personally see myself paying money to get a digital version of a character that I don't own. It just seems so alien to me, that concept. But I guess some people are doing it.
Yeah, so so begs the question: is it for potential Disney credit card owners, or is it to spread? I would assume it's more to spread the Disney Infinity free PC version, but I guess
Yeah.
it could go either way.
Yeah, I think it's an advertising. Like this costs them $0.
Yeah.
It costs them maybe a few cents to generate the code. So it's just another way of advertising. Like there's a magazine up here called like Canadian Living or something. My wife got a free subscription, and they had their hot toys of 2014, and Disney Infinity was one of those toys. And it's just like, wow, okay, that's awesome. No Skylanders, no anything else. It's Disney Infinity. So it seems like Disney's going out of their way to advertise in places that maybe they wouldn't normally. And this another way of advertising. Although one weird thing, kind of a tangentially related, we just got a Disney store here in Winnipeg, where I live. We had one like 8 years ago. It closed down because no one was shopping there. A mall expansion happened, and they got a Disney store put in here. And it reminds me of the stores that I was in when I was in downtown Disney. So it's that kind of boutique with different sections for different things. They have like Finalmations. They have other collectible stuff. They have no Disney Infinity in there. And I'm just like, what are you doing? This is like prime place for Disney Infinity to be. So they're hitting with some of the advertising, and they're missing with some of it at the same time, I guess.
That's crazy, Lloyd, because you are bringing up something. I'm so glad you said this, because I forgot to mention it or add it to the notes. But speaking of Disney advertising and really Disney branching out, so you said this is something that's literally costing them nothing. So why not do it? It's not going to hurt anything.
Yep.
Well, Lloyd, did you see a couple years ago when Disney was promoting Tron, they wrapped all of the Tron, or not all the Tron, all the monorails with Tron wrappings. Well, I don't know. Did you see this? Because I found this so cool. So head on over to disney.go.com, or just Disney Parks blog is what we're bringing up on screen. And what they are doing now is wrapping and promoting and advertising Disney Infinity 2.0 on the side of their Disney World Resort buses. So this is specially designed for the buses. So our partners with Disney Imagineering created these new wraps. So that's kind of cool. They are the same team that designed the previous Walt Disney World monorail wraps. So this is pretty awesome. I love seeing this. So last week we talked about how good Disney Interactive is doing, and you could contribute the majority of that forward progress to Disney Infinity. And so they definitely recognize the role that Disney Infinity is playing for the company. And this is cool, because we've seen Disney Park stuff come into the game. We haven't seen Disney Infinity stuff come to the parks, and this is an example of that.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. You might as well do it. I mean, people are there; they're riding this thing. You might as well show them something that maybe they don't know exists. Tired kids get on a bus. It's like, hey, mommy, daddy, I want this, and they now have a Christmas present that they might want to buy for that year for their kids or whatever. I seem to remember with Disney Infinity 1 that they did some advertising on like subway cars and stuff, but I was looking for news posts on that and I don't see it. Maybe it was a different game, but I could have sworn it was Disney Infinity. So this doesn't seem to be something totally new for them, but it totally makes sense. They should be putting these buses in all major metropolitan areas, because a lot of movies and other things will do that. They'll have a bus in, say, downtown LA or downtown Toronto or Vancouver up here in Canada. It would make sense to do that for Disney Infinity as well as we get closer and closer to the holiday season.
Yeah, and it's cool too. I would imagine, so a lot of these buses have TVs and stuff that talk about resort. I'm sure they're gonna have some trailers that are playing inside that bus. You walk in, you see the characters, because from the outside, it's kind of hard to tell unless you know what Disney Infinity is. You may not know what this is. They just look like a a gaggle of Disney characters. But then if you go on the inside and you're like, wait a second, these are all the characters I've just saw as I walked in this bus. Yeah, that's gonna convince a lot of parents. Actually, it's gonna convince their kids, which will then convince the parents.
And they did it with Disney original figures, not the Marvel figures, because that's who they really want to get attracted to this game. So totally makes sense.
Yep, Baymax is right there, front and center.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. Yeah, more Disney Infinity all around. Speaking of Disney Infinity all around, Lloyd, I got to admit, this next item here got me really excited. So for those that don't know, you run your own video game podcasting network. You and I do a show over there that's just general video games. But then you also have a Touch of Gaming podcast, so an iOS gaming podcast.
Correct. That's been on a break for a while, but yes, TOG is still located over at vgpodcast.com.
So you have some familiarity with iOS gaming.
Yeah, a fair bit, actually. So the news came out for Disney Infinity 2.0. The question had been, since Disney Infinity 2 hit, well, where's the iPad app? Where's the update to the app that I've been using since Disney Infinity 1 came out? The app that came out for the first game wasn't that great. It wasn't that bad. It was definitely a lower resolution. It was similar to playing on the Wii. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't that great. And we were hoping for more with Disney Infinity 2.0. Things have been really kind of silent, and then their biggest competitor in this space came out with a mobile version of the whole entire game, and that kind of took a lot of people by surprise. So I was really hoping that Disney would have saw that announcement and said, "Hey, we gotta amp this up." Mm-hmm. So news has come out this week from around the net that Disney is really going for gold with this one. So the 2.0 app is going to be a newer app. It's going to be cross-platform, so you could play it on both it's going to be an iPad and an iPhone version, so not just an iPad version this year, which is great. It's when it says cross-platform, that leads me to believe that there's going to be an Android version, but I haven't seen that announcement. And the most exciting part is they're taking full advantage of something that's new in the latest iOS release called Metal, which basically allows you as a game developer to basically write code that sits pretty much right on the graphics chip. So instead of having all these layers of APIs between you and the hardware, it's more direct to the hardware, which means the game is going to be able to run way faster, be able to take advantage of a lot more of lighting and other things that you'd be doing on the consoles. So that is amazing to me. I really hope that I'm going to be able to play a probably not a PS4 level version, because that's just crazy, but maybe a Wii U level version, or an Xbox 360 or a PS3 level graphical version of the game on my iPad. So I'll be able to design and play levels while I'm on the go, and then upload them to my my Disney account and download them on the console and do the finishing touches. With Metal being there, I hope that means that this game is going to be a heck of a lot more responsive. It also means that you're probably going to need newer hardware to take full advantage of this. So I wouldn't be surprised if this app was limited to, say, the iPad Air, whether it's iPad Air 1 and 2, and the mini, the newer minis would make sense, and maybe like the iPhone 6s, maybe lock it to some of the newer hardware to take full advantage of the heavy bumps in CPU that these devices have. But I guess we'll know more once it hits. It's supposed to be coming this holiday, which is anywhere between now and 2 months from now, I guess, or even 5 months from now. Depends on what Disney considers the holiday window to be. So I don't know. I'm really excited about this. It's definitely something that I'm going to be downloading. It also makes me wonder if it's going to be free, because the digital downloads they've been charging $20 for. Or $30 for. So I wonder if there's going to be a $5 charge on this one, or $9.99 or something, with a free version to kind of get in and sample some of the stuff.
So that's a great question, Lloyd. So you see here some of the improvements you mentioned. Metal multiplayer is huge, and iPhone compatibility. So the metal thing is the piece. Like you, it makes me excited. I mean, look at the lighting and the quality, the higher res textures. This would have been so bland looking on the original
Yeah.
version 1.0.
And this is on an iPad Air 2.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell by the screenshot because of the Touch ID button that's there. So this is running on the latest and greatest iPad hardware. I'd be curious to see this on. I have an iPad 3, so mine's like 4 years old or 3 years old or whatever. I I wouldn't be surprised if it wouldn't run on this, and then I'll have to upgrade my hardware just to play it, which I'm crazy enough to do for my Disney Infinity.
So I think that technical requirement's going to come from Metal, but like you said, if they do, if more advanced hardware is required, I think that so the great thing about the first game and the digital version on PC is that they are essentially free to play games, or freemium, I guess might be the more apt term in this scenario. So that was in that scenario when it's free to play or freemium, you want to get that into as many people's hands as you possibly can, because the more people's hands, the more opportunity for someone to spend money on the game. But if you're locking down this to specific piece of hardware, newer hardware that has a smaller install base, then it might require a purchase, because it's not gonna get out into as many people's hands as it might otherwise if it was more universally compatible.
Yeah. Or maybe again they're going to do what they kind of did with the consoles, where it will run on older hardware, like the previous generation consoles have versions of the game that aren't as awesome looking as the newer versions on the newer or the current generation of consoles. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe Metal will only come into effect if you're on an iPad Air 2 or maybe an iPad Air 1, and then you'll be able to play some of the stuff, maybe not multiplayer, maybe not big levels, maybe not play any play sets. Who knows if play sets are going to be supported in this one? I hope so, but who knows, right?
That would be awesome.
It would make sense. They're doing it on the PC, so
Yeah.
it could make sense that it would come to mobile as well. So I don't know. I'm super excited to see more of what this is. It was kind of a here you go, this is coming at some point. Be excited. I can't wait till we get a little bit more idea of what this actually is. So hopefully JV is going to be putting out a feature in the next Disney podcast, or maybe talk about it on his Twitter account as to when this is coming and what exactly the specs are going to be.
Well, don't you think it would make the most sense bringing it out as quickly as possible, because this could also inspire console sales, not of the console game, because the kids have iOS. Lots of families have iOS devices. A lot more families have those than consoles, and so it could be a gateway to that.
Sure. And it's going to sell more of these for sure if you can use the codes that are included with them. So they don't have to buy the $75 set, but they can buy a bunch of the figures and punch in the codes and play with it on their mobile device, which totally makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so you want to get that out there as quickly as possible. I want to say originally they were thinking November. That could have been last year, though. I can't remember. One other question I had for you, Lloyd, that I wanted to bring up. So it says cross-platform. We have D Strong in the chat is saying, why is there not Androids being left in the dust or out in the cold? Lord Jashiro is saying, to be fair, I don't think Android can play those graphics. I think the newer Android hardware absolutely could play these graphics.
Totally.
Yeah,
there's a lot of NVIDIA Tegra based chipsets in some of the newer hardware. The problem with Android is there's like a million different combinations of screen size and horsepower, where you get a lot of games, like for the mobile game development space, you get a lot of people that start on iOS and then move towards Android as they have a user base. That's getting less so as Android is kind of a more stable platform, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing. Cross-platform to me screams different like OSs, not just iPad and iPhone. So who knows? Or maybe cross-platform full toy box experience means you can play with other people on different versions. Maybe it'll be the ability to support a mode where you play with console versions. That isn't a feature in the console versions yet. So is this something that's coming? Who knows? I really highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting word to use, cross-platform. That generally doesn't mean coming to both the iPad and the iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty vague and ambiguous, but I don't know. It's cool. I think I might be in the minority saying this, Lloyd, but this app alone, if it had MFI controller support, would get me to buy a controller. And I was really hoping to see on one of these screens controller support. You can see here that on this screenshot, we're seeing lots of touch controls. It's playable. I played the majority of one toy box I've submitted for a competition on the iPad. But the combination of a controller when you're in this view versus touch when you're maybe building, that would just be like the holy grail of controlling Infinity, in my opinion.
It would be awesome. It would be a really great way just to use it as kind of a scratch pad to come up with the basic level design and start linking some things together and then uploading it to your Disney account and doing it that way. Yeah, I would love controller support. Their competitor has controller support, albeit it's a controller that comes with the game and is only supported with that game, which is ridiculous.
And you're referring to Skylanders.
I didn't want to say the S word on out loud. But I guess I will.
Tip jar.
Exactly. But yeah, like the Skylanders comes with a controller. This obviously won't, because it looks like it sounds to me like it's going to be a digital version, not a full box version. But who knows? Maybe it's a full box version. I don't think so, but that's as much info about this as we have. Is this one slide, which doesn't really give much.
Yeah, it's I don't know. There's more questions than answers, but at least we still know it's coming soon and soon-ish, and we also know some of its features and kind of a little bit of what to expect.
Yeah. Multiplayer is going to be huge if it works really well. I know, like my kids, they play a lot of Minecraft, and basically everybody in their school plays Minecraft on their iPad or iPhone. If they could be playing Disney Infinity multiplayer that way as well, that's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge for everybody there as well. So hopefully that works well, because my kids will want to play that for sure. Yeah,
that'll be really, really cool. Cool. Well, that's the iOS version. I'm sure we will be hearing more. I don't know. I'm excited for it. Hopefully it works on your hardware.
I hope it works on my hardware. I have a feeling it won't, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So that's the iOS version. Lloyd, do you think there's any connection? Oh, actually, real quick, one thing I wanted to say is that I randomly, I was waiting at E3 this year. I was in line for a game that was completely not Infinity related. It was Destiny, and the person in front of me just so happened to be one of the developers of the original iPad game. So they're from Heavy Iron Studios. And the question, I did ask him about 2.0, and he was really good. He didn't give me any information about an iOS version of 2.0. That's what I was asking specifically. But one thing I kind of was a probing question of, if we do get a 2.0, will we see controller support? And the impression I got, not for 2.0, but the impression I got for 1.0 was having touch-only controls was a deliberate decision. At the time, MFI controllers had been announced, but I don't think many were out, or they had just come out. The first ones had just come out with when the original 1.0 iOS version came out. So I guess the reason I'm saying this is I hope that it's not an intentional decision not to have controller support, to make it maybe more accessible to everyone. I really hope that we see it.
Yeah, just because it's supported doesn't mean that it has to be a requirement. So
absolutely,
might as well give it to people that have it, to make their gameplay that much better.
Could you imagine playing multiplayer with touchscreens, playing like a battle arena?
Yeah, it's like, no, I didn't mean to touch you and shoot you. I meant to actually hit this button over here that did this thing. Yeah, it would be a mess for sure. But it's been in development for a while, so hopefully they did a good job. I mean, I assume that they would. They don't Disney doesn't put out a bad product, so I'm just really eager to have a look at it.
And metal in and of itself is a pretty big deal. So this is a brand new feature that came out with iOS 8, which is
Right.
the release version's 2 months old now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still the majority of the games out there, even games that are releasing now, a lot of them aren't metal supported. So
Yeah, it's a lot of development that you have to put into it, because you're not just using the simple programming interface, using all the APIs that Apple created. You're basically going like old school and building something that runs almost directly on the CPU. So it takes a lot more development time. So you're not seeing too much of that yet out in iOS.
Yep. Cool. Well, Lloyd, I think that's going to wrap up the show. We're a few minutes early. Is there anything else that you want to talk about Infinity related before we kind of end things?
No, I don't think so. I still only have 4 of the Disney originals. So everybody that's listening to this or watching on YouTube, which other Disney original should I get? So I have Tinkerbell, I have Merida, I have Stitch, and I have Donald Duck. And I did unboxings of these all over on DisneyInfinity.tv, and also on our YouTube channel. So I know Lem did pretty much all the other unboxings, so I know all the figures out there. But which other figure or figures should I buy? And if I do you want to see me do an unboxing of them, regardless that there's already versions out there from someone else? So let me know in the comments, or shoot me an email, or follow me on Twitter at Dasme, DASME, and let me know which figures I should buy next.
I want to see you do a figure unboxing where, I don't know, where something doesn't work and you are just sitting there in awe, like your Retron 5 unboxing.
Yeah, that was a fun one, wasn't it? That was great.
Lloyd had this new console that he was so excited to try out, and he plugged it in and it wasn't working, and his wife was holding the camera, and you could just see this like look of disappointment, but it worked out for you in the end.
It did. It's the stupidest thing. The console had a feature where you had to hold down the power button for 5 seconds for it to turn on. That's an awesome feature, so I'm glad they put it in there. I guess it made for good internet television.
Okay, so the impromptu poll so far. So Lim is saying Hero, Omi is saying Maleficent and Baymax. Omi's also saying Aladdin. Dragon Skull is saying Baymax and Hero. Chris Evilos is saying Baymax. Lim is saying Baymax. So
unboxed himself.
That's
is what
great.
He said.
So
Yeah,
I'm reading that they're all great.
It seems like Baymax is the overall winner.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll pick up Hero and Baymax next and do an unboxing for them as well.
But if you get Baymax, you have to do a stop motion film of him unboxing himself.
Sure, I'll look into doing that. No promises.
Okay, good. All right, well, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in this week. You can, again, find us each and every week, Monday, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Just head over to DisneyInfinity.tv/live or ditv.code/live. Head over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DisneyInfinityTV. And if you like what we're doing, you can also listen to the audio version of the podcast on iTunes. And if any of those places reaches you, let us know what you think. You can do that through any one of our Twitters. You can also do it in the comments of our videos. So anywhere. So we love the feedback, and we love talking with all of you out there. So please let us know. I hope you subscribe. We're almost at our 2,000 subscriber mark on our YouTube channel, which is amazing. Oh, and you can find us on twitch.com/DisneyInfinityTV for our live plays. Jason's been doing a lot of great live plays over there. Lloyd, did you have fun tonight?
I did. It was great. It's weird only having 2 people on the show. I think I kind of like it. Can actually talk over you as much as I want without talking over anybody else and feeling bad about it. So it's been good.
I like it too, yeah. So last week we got some good feedback. We'll have 3 every once in a while, sometimes even 4 or more than that for special occasions. But I think this two heads is working out pretty well for us for at least a while. So yeah. So Lloyd, where can people find you at?
They can find me over at vgpodcast.com. I do a number of shows over there. Will is joining me on D-Res, which is our general gaming news show. Got some other stuff planned as well. So hit me up there, or on Twitter at Dasme on Twitter, DASME on Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at iLiam, or you can find the show at Disney Infina TV on Twitter. So with that, everyone, we hope you really enjoyed the show, and we can't wait to see you next week. But until then, we hope your week is filled with infinite possibilities.